That's the whole show. Just me. Na 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 na.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hi, how are you doing, Michael Scott?
That's what she said.
That is Jam Jingle Singers.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Everybody's here. Kyle Madsen in the other room. Kyle Madsen. Oh, Kyle. Kyle Madsen, as I live and breathe. Oh, Kyle.
Co-host / board op / producer of the number 12 morning show. Mid-major market morning show.
We're number 12.
In this country. I like to think of number 12. A lot of people are going to go, well, gosh, that's outside the top 10. That's still good, but, there's room for improvement. I choose to look at it as we were so good that they gave us numbers 1 and 2.
Thank you. Hey, that is a good way to put it.
Thank you.
Inside the top 15 is how I like it. Think about all the cities with all the radio shows.
Right.
In this entire country.
There's let's call it 2 radio shows per city. And let's call it how many cities are there in the country? Like 20, 25?
Yeah. I think you're being very you're minimizing the 2 radio shows per city. I mean, you're talking morning shows. I feel like that's understating it quite a bit. Like in this city alone, we compete with at least 10 live morning shows. At least.
Oh, I thought it was sports talk. I was going sports talk.
Okay, you're right.
Radio show.
Sorry, I was thinking all shows.
Yeah, no, it's like sports.
That's what I like to think.
Let's say every city has 2 sports
I like
stations.
to think of it as all shows, and just the sports ones all were the best. This is the second day in a row I can't get our text messages up on my computer. I can get them on my phone.
Interesting.
I can't. I hit messages and it just shows the top of the screen. Doesn't show anything else. Like my computer has a block.
Well, we need to get on the text line and see if other people are. I just got a text to the Kyle Madsen personal text line, not brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Yeah.
And apparently our app is sending the national feed. The
Is
CBS
it?
feed.
Well, I don't know. That's your neck of the store.
I'm gonna go figure it out.
I mean, maybe they're just on a delay still. They might just still be on a delay. Kyle,
Maybe.
I want to talk to you. I think you and I and most people listening, we all try to today's topic is going to be trying to be a good person. Because I like to think for the most part that most of us, despite all the hostility and back and forth you see everywhere, I like to think my default is, and not on the show. The show's different. We can be bad people all day. But in real life, I do try to be a good guy. I try to open doors when I can. I try to, if an older lady or man drops something on the ground in the shopping grocery store, I'll pick it up for them. If a little kid comes up and runs up and then looks up at me, and I'm a big, tall, ogre-y looking guy and freaks out, I'll try to wink and smile at him and say hello. I try to be a nice guy. I had, sometimes you have those moments in life, they're learning moments. I had one of those a few years ago on the radio station where I was going off. I was in a restaurant, and I was going off about these parents and how their kid just wouldn't shut up and was bouncing everywhere and freaking out the entire time. I'm like, why are you even here? And I just went in on how horrible they were as parents. And then I had a friend of mine pull me aside and say, Dave, what you described sounds exactly like what I go through with my child who's autistic. And there are some parents that just, they have to. You need to take the kids out, and you don't want to stay home all the time. They try their best, but you don't want to put a sign on the kid, blah, blah, blah. I felt terrible. I felt absolutely horrible because that's probably what it was. And I learned a lesson there. Don't always assume what's going on in the other person's life. I'm being serious. It was a very important lesson for me, and it's stuck in my head.
I tried that. I really tried that when somebody like cuts me off, or
Right.
if I like go to walk in a door and somebody walks in front of me. Instead of getting mad, try and go, you know what? Maybe that person's going through a horrible hardship and they
Sure.
are just blacked out to the world right now. I really try.
And you should.
And I
it's a good
curse
way to
them out
think.
under my breath instead of out loud.
Right.
I'm so nice.
But that hasn't stopped me from being extremely. A lot of people say, well, I'm not judgmental. I'm very judgmental. I'll admit it. I'm extreme. Especially, I am no more judgmental than when I am at a grocery store. I look in people's carts. I look at how they behave in the aisles. I judge what they're eating. I'm extreme, not to their face, not out loud. I'm very judgmental. I admit it. I'm sorry. That's what I do. So I was at a local big box store that will go unnamed that resembled very much the type of floating ship I've been on for the 10 previous days, getting some groceries for this Airbnb we're staying at. I was there yesterday afternoon. And in the aisle across from me, we're waiting for the cashier. We're in the checkout aisles. And in the one directly next to me is it's a teenage girl, I would say early teens, about maybe 4 years older than my daughter. 4-tone hair. I knew that I was trying not to stare, but I knew there was a nose ring, a lip ring, and I'm sure a couple of earrings. Again, not judging, just describing. But what caught my eye was that she wanted a video game and kept pushing it into the cart. And the mother, who was clearly frustrated and did not know what to do, kept saying, I'm not buying this for you. And it escalated to where the girl was saying, Mom, yes, Mom. Like,
yeah, speak it into existence.
that loud. Right. To the point where it's making a scene. Mom, yeah. And then it became, Mom, F you. Mom, F you, Mom. And then she started like slapping her mom's arm with the game, like, buy this. Yes, I will pay you back. Mom, and at one point she told her mom to shut up.
Oh, my Lanta.
Right. And I found myself in it. Go ahead.
Would not be existing anymore. If I
ever did that to one of my parents.
forget all the harassment prior to that, if I said, Mom, shut up.
Right. I would be dead.
Yeah.
That would be it.
Whether I was 15 or 28.
Or right now.
Yes.
And I found myself in a weird position because this is what I want. Like, you ever daydream, like, in the middle of a situation like that, you imagine what you'd like to do. You don't do it. But it's like in the movies where it's like, it's a daydream. You just picture yourself. I wanted to go over there, and I wanted to grab the kid and just scare the hell out of the kid, just by both shoulders. Be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? What? And just shake the kid like in Scared Straight. Now, of course, in real life, if I do that, 8 people are going to YouTube it. I'm going to get put in jail for assaults.
Right. You're the host of the number 12 mid-market radio show.
You. So, of course,
country.
what I do is I just kind of turn into a position where I can see what's going on without staring and stay quietly to myself. But I wanted to reach out and help this mother. I really did. I felt so terrible for her. And I found myself playing a game of, and I don't know if you ever play this, if I know you're not as judgy as I am, but when I see parents and horrific kids in public, I play a little game with myself called Bad Parents, or Did They Just Give Up? Did they just give up? Did they just give up, or is there something else going on? And I hate that we live in a society now. Part of me does. Listen, I'm not advocating that I should have been able to go over there and shake this kid like
right.
the ladies in Airplane that were freaking out. But, my God,
Here's the thing. That kid's just a jerk, though.
Yes.
Like, if you had walked up and been like, hey, treat your mother with some respect, she'd be like, are you going to buy this for me? No. Then shut up.
She would have gotten right in my face.
Right.
And after you, she
Right.
probably would have slapped me. And then what can I do?
Right.
Next thing you know, I'm in a fight with some little kid and winning, but then eventually losing when the cops get there. Kyle, the last thought I had about it is that I felt in the end, if I did go up and I did confront the child, I feel like there would be a 94% chance that the mother would turn on me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're gonna Voltron.
Right.
And then that kid is not only getting that video game, but she's not even gonna have to pay for it.
That's exactly right. I don't know, man. I know some parents try their best. I know as a parent, I've had meltdowns with kids in public before, but I can tell you this, when my kids have melted down in public before, I can count on two hands, we exit that place immediately.
Yes.
There is nothing worse than embarrassing me or their mother in public. We get out. That situation, I feel for the mom, but more importantly, I feel for that kid. We'll take a break. Big show for you today. Henry McKenna, Patriots Wire. The Wire Connection is coming on at 8:05. We're also starting to shape up the rest of this week when it comes to guests. We have one confirmed in studio. Another one I've been working on. I'm waiting to hear from today. That may be coming in studio later this week as well, and that one will surprise the hell out of you. It's Super Bowl week. We've got quotes and stuff from yesterday. We'll update you on Anthony Davis. And, oh, gosh, so much more. The Drive starts in earnest. Hello, Ernest. Sports 1140 KHTK.
They come to the line. Goff is ready. First and goal from the 6. He turns left. He gives to Gurley. He picks his way for a touchdown! Spins off the safety. He finds Pater.
Well, you'll see Todd Gurley in action coming up this Sunday. Interesting prop bet, and I haven't looked at it. I'm sure Gurley's the favorite here, but more touchdowns scored rushing, Todd Gurley or C.J. Anderson. And I'm sure Gurley's a favorite, but I don't think that's a lock. And how crazy is that going to be?
I really like the idea. I'll have to see what the odds look like, but I really like the idea of putting some money on Todd Gurley to win the MVP. Wouldn't that be peak Sean McVay?
Of course.
Guy gets benched in the NFC title game, and then he devises a way to get him 35 touches in the Super Bowl, and he scores 3 touchdowns.
Sean McVay is 33.
Just turned 33.
Remember when I was doing it? 33 is not long at all ago for me. 33 is right around the corner for you.
That's my biggest thing is I measure where am I? My equivalent to being where Sean McVay is if I was hosting the Jim Rome show in 3 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah. Except multiply that times 100 as far as the pressure goes with
right. I just meant I just meant in terms of our fields.
One of the things I want to get into today, there was a great article written yesterday by Lindsay Theory about Sean McVay-isms, like how he has helped the culture with the Rams, taking over. Let's not forget, Jeff Fisher was the coach of this team just a few years ago, taking over, and some of his sayings that have permeated the camp, the team, and all that. I want to run through. Have you seen this article?
No.
Okay, good. I want to run through these, and I want Kyle I want you to give me a grade on how great or how meh these are.
Okay.
Because he's got the players reciting them the whole bit. Number 2.
Quick cook into a ball game. Iguodala finding Durant wide open right wing. 3 is good. Right through the shoot. Late contest from TJ Leaf who just checked in. It's 101-76.
While this highlight was playing, Kyle mentioned in my ear that it's surprising to hear somebody other than Tim Roy.
Right.
I was going to point this out anyways, and I thank you for reminding me to bring it up. Our thoughts with Tim Roy, who tweeted out yesterday, and I caught this and saved it, just didn't remember. He said, I want to thank everyone for your well wishes and thoughts. I haven't been on the Eastern trip as I'm helping with a family medical matter. It's not life-threatening, but it was important for me to be home Thank you to Kevin Dana. That was or Donna. It's Danna. I apologize for not having the pronunciation correct. Kevin Dana for filling in at the last minute, and Tim will be back on Thursday. So Tim Roy, friend of the show, obviously, local guy, used to be out here. So I don't know what he's going through, and that's his business, but thoughts with him.
I jumped in the car last night.
Yeah.
I knew the Dubs were on, and I went to turn the game on, and it wasn't Tim Roy. So.
Yeah, it's not Tim Roy. And when you have a longtime voice of a team and it's not that person, that's just an impossible spot for anyone to be in.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not. You know what your name is? It's not Kevin Dana. Your name is not Tim Roy.
Right.
Right. We played the highlight, though, not to point out Tim Roy's absence, but just to kind of point out as we continue to cover the NBA, and the Sacramento Kings did not play last night, did not play tonight, that the Golden State Warriors have won 11 in a row.
I'm really proud of you for bringing this up.
I bring this up out of hatred and spite, not out of admiration and respect, because here we are going into February in a couple days, and the Warriors are about to grab the best record in the NBA. The Warriors have won 11 in a row. The Warriors, I believe the Clippers are the only team in the last decade, other than the Warriors, to have 6-0 road trips. That just happened. DeMarcus Cousins played mid-20 minutes last night. I think he had 22 points and 6 boards. It's starting to click. And I just want to say, for one, I apologize. I was wrong, because I really thought this was the year the Warriors were going to fall off. And this is all shocking to me, that they're somehow establishing themselves around the All-Star break and cruising into the playoffs. Who'd have thunk that one?
There was a great Bill Simmons quote on his podcast where he was like, I thought this whole Boogie thing was way overblown, but now I feel like it's going to ruin the playoffs.
Yeah.
His passing ability and his ability to set screens, I think, were two things that went dramatically overlooked. Like, people are like, oh, he's not going to be as explosive, and he's not going to be able to run. It's like, dude, he can get in the high post and throw passes and set screens and hit threes. Like,
it was 1 of 2 last night from 3. As we move on, Kyle, to me, there are only 2 questions remaining with the Warriors between now and them hoisting the Larry O'Brien. Number 1, will anybody get injured? Mm-hmm. And I never root for that, so knock on wood. Hopefully that won't happen. And number 2, will they go undefeated in the playoffs? Those are the only 2 questions I have left. I have no other questions. There is no other drama to me. None. 0. By the way, I'll also predict that one of their playoff series could very well be a tough, heart-wrenching series that could go 6 or 7. Like last year, remember the Rockets? Oh, the Rockets could have beat them.
They would have if Chris Paul was healthy. They would have.
So outside Elfrid Payton slings it to a rolling Davis, catches, lays it in, and is fouled by Colin Sexton on a pretty slick pick and roll between Payton and Davis.
Anthony Davis update for you, as he is the talk of the NBA. The update is there's no update. Really, nothing else is advanced with Anthony Davis that we know of, nor should we. But later on, we'll revisit this, and this should already be over. Kyle, the trade should have already happened. I'll tell you why it should. And by the way, why a lot of people apparently are in Kawhi Leonard's camp. I didn't realize this till I got on social media last night and made a couple comments. There are a lot of people in Kawhi Leonard's camp that know exactly what he's going to do. I floated the idea of him going to the Lakers next year. My goodness, everybody knows that's not going to happen. I was surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They all know he's going to the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Didn't realize that. When we come back, we have the Super Bowl week quotes, highlights, whatever you want to call it. Sean McVay-isms for you, Kyle, and for the rest of the audience. I want you to grade them. See if we can't incorporate any of them into our show. It's The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.
This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. No Kings last night or tonight, and no news in the Anthony Davis saga, so we're going to take a look at the NBA scoreboard. The Hornets beat the Knicks 101-92. The Warriors won their 11th straight 132-100 over the Indiana Pacers. Boston snapped the next 6-game win streak with a 112-104 victory in Boston. The Nuggets overcame a 25-point second-half deficit in Memphis to top the Grizzlies 95-92. And the Hawks came through for the Kings. They beat the Clippers 123-118 at Staples Center. The Kings are now 2.5 games back of the Clippers for the number 8 seed, and they welcome the Hawks into the Golden One Center tomorrow night. It's 6:32. Plan now to watch the big game at Sammy's Restaurant. The best food and drink inside Stone's Gambling Hall, I-80 at Antelope Road. Those are your top stories. Now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
More of the drive starts now.
Yeah. Kyle, you and I both have iPhones. Does Eunice have an iPhone? Okay, so listen up there, Eunice. Like she's not listening to every second of the show. That poor person. Oh, worst job in the building. Eunice. I feel for her. Have you heard about this bug? This is scary.
Yeah, with FaceTime?
Oh, this is really scary.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a bug that exists. If you call somebody on FaceTime, so let's say I'm going to call you, which would be weird, but let's say I call you on FaceTime. If I swipe up while I'm calling you and I add my own phone number, so like it's a group FaceTime, the way this bug works is I can now hear the audio from your end of the call without you even without you touching anything. Soon as I do that, I can now, so for example, if I was FaceTiming you and you were talking to, here we go, and you were hanging out with Damien and Jason and all that, and you're like, guys, look, hey, it's Dave. What an idiot. I wish he'd go back on vacation. He's stupid. I could hear all that. But what's even scarier is that if you hit, because a lot of times to ignore a call, you hit the power button and it just silences the ring. You hit the power button, it activates your video. And I can now see through your front-facing camera on your end without you knowing it. Now, the trick there is once the video connects, apparently you can now hear my audio, but if I'm not saying anything. So imagine the possibilities there if you go to ignore a FaceTime call from somebody, and I don't know, let's say you're doing, use your imagination, one of many things you would not want broadcasted on FaceTime.
Grocery shopping.
There you go. That is terrifying. Now, I can count on one hand the amount of people I FaceTime with on a semi-regular basis, and they're all family members.
Right.
But even that, like, oh, God. Yeah, it's my sister's name is Lindsay. It's Lindsay. Yeah, we're eating. I'm not going to answer it because it's an automatic half-hour phone call. Oh, my God. And she can hear that. That's the bug that's going on right now. So, Carmichael.
So, even if you don't answer it.
Yes. Yes. If you don't answer it, I can hear the audio until it goes to voicemail or until it says FaceTime unavailable. But if you hit the power button to silence the ring, it activates the front-facing video. So if you were looking at your phone and you hit power, I can now see your face. And God knows what else is going on.
So the move is keep the phone face down.
No,
don't say anything and hang up.
I'll tell you exactly what the move is, which is why I brought this up. The move is very simple, and this is what old Carmichael Dave did this morning. Because
put the phone in rice.
People blow into the phone like a video game cartridge. The move is open your settings, scroll down and look for the FaceTime icon, and then switch it off. You may want to do that on your Mac as well if you have FaceTime enabled on your Mac. Scroll and turn FaceTime off. That is because at some point I didn't want to just try to remember it, because at some point I could be in the middle of something today and one of my dumb friends tries to pull that off. And God forbid with screen recording enabled as well now, where people can record whatever shows up on their screen. You can imagine the possibilities with the video. So that is your public service announcement from the drive for today, for all of you out there with iPhones. Now, Apple is working on, and for all I know, has already probably fixed the bug or is very close. But I will be looking for.
So how do I do this?
How do you disable?
Turn FaceTime off?
Yeah, just turn FaceTime off. That's it.
Done.
Just turn FaceTime off. And now it cannot happen. Is FaceTime off?
Yeah.
All right, let me Let me verify that. Let's see. Let me look under.
This is good. This is really good.
I'm looking. All right.
We're FaceTiming each other on the radio.
There's Doofus.
Hey, did you do the?
Hey, turn it back on, would you?
No.
No, I actually want to see if the bug still works.
I want.
Did I do the what?
Did you do the Tom Brady joke yesterday with Siri?
That somebody showed us. I did not.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You don't have to turn FaceTime on.
I already did. It's too late.
It's too late.
Hey Siri. Tell me a joke about Tom Brady.
Okay. Pun alert. The sporting goods store just had a big sale on canoes. It was quite the ordeal.
What? Oh, that was just a joke.
I said, tell me a joke about Tom Brady. She heard me. And then Siri proceeded to say, okay, pun alert. The sporting goods store just had a big sale on canoes. It was quite the ordeal.
Ordeal. Are you a ghostwriter for Siri, by the way?
Yeah.
Hey, Siri. Tell me a Tom Brady joke.
When someone tells me to stop acting like a flamingo, that's when I put my foot down.
Okay, so apparently somebody's erased this. Anyways, turn off your FaceTime capabilities, everybody that owns an iPhone and or a Mac. Just a couple minutes left here. Kyle, I told you before the break that Sean McVay has a lot of Sean McVayisms, phrases.
Yes, please.
I want to go through a couple of them. We'll do this throughout the day. You ready?
Yeah.
I want you to grade them. The standard is the standard.
F.
Situational masters.
That's a B+. That's strong.
The example they provide is when Todd Gurley slid a yard away from the end zone in the Packers game.
Yeah.
And understanding every single possible situation and being the master of that. We, not me.
See, that's so lame.
That's like the number one. That's like their slogan right now. It's on shirts.
Hey, guess what? That's been every grade school basketball team's motto since 1984.
One of the sub-questions I asked you, are any of these eligible or good for our show?
Sure.
I'd like to nominate me, not we.
That's perfect.
Okay.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
I think like we should have the drive shirts with me not we.
I like that.
Our rule, here's one that probably won't get nominated for the show. Our rule, be on time.
Yeah, no, that's...
No?
Our rule is try to be on time.
Lastly, a simple question was circulated inside the Rams locker room. Which of McVay's phrases resonated the most? Can they be funny? Right guard Austin Blythe asked. Absolutely. So he responded, you can talk about the anger sharks. Apparently, when McVay starts to get upset, and he pulled this from the movie Anger Management, if he's not getting the look he wants at practice, instead of losing his cool, the hyper head coach will swirl his hands around his dome and start talking about the anger sharks swimming in his head. Anger sharks, anger sharks. I like anger sharks. I like the idea of us getting into it on the show and me saying, dude, fight the anger sharks right now. I like the idea of going home and saying that to my children.
I like the idea of going to break right now.
The
anger sharks are done.
Okay, so what you're saying is our rule, be on time. And we'll do that right now. We'll take a break.
Hey, me, not we.
More Sean McVayisms coming up later. The Warriors are on fire. Anthony Davis updates. That's what we have for you in the next segment. Don't go away. 339-1140, 1-800-912-1140. That is our Fire Wings hotline. Do text us at 441140 on the Jiffy Lube hotline. It's The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK. The number 12 ranked morning show in the entire country, according
You're welcome.
to Barrett Sports Media. We need to get some voice guy stuff on that.
I absolutely agree.
Welcome in. And yeah, as Kyle said, you're welcome. 339-1140. That's 44-1140. That is your Jiffy Lube text line. What did I have? Oh, yeah, I got this. I got this for you, Kyle. I want to hear.
Yeah, please.
I want to play for you some Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, good. This is my favorite thing.
Little Q&A for
He's
it.
so quirky and funny.
The Q&A. Yesterday was opening night.
Yeah, I can't wait. Please, love me some Gronk.
Here's Ron Gronkowski.
Rob, I got some questions. Hey. How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I actually got some questions from a first grade class. I'd like to ask you one of them, if that's okay.
You teach first grade?
No, but I know people that do.
Oh, okay.
I know a lot of kids. So this is from Allison, and this is in Mrs. Thompson.
Hi, Allison.
In Mrs. Thompson's first grade class. She says, Rob, you're my favorite football player in the world. Why do you think the number 69 is so funny all the time?
Because it just is.
Yeah.
You just got to play it off right. You got to play it off right. And if you don't, it's not funny.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
What class does she have? What class is she teaching?
No, she's a first grader.
All right. Well, there's some numbers out there. A little math problem. What's 6 times 9 plus 6 plus 9?
Gronk hits him with the who had Gronk hitting him with the math problem at the end of his answer.
What's 6 times 9 times 6 plus 9?
What's 6 times 9 plus 6 plus 9? You can guess the answer. Go ahead. Yeah, you got it? Yeah. So, did you recognize the voice on that?
No.
That was the one, the only PFT commenter from.
Man, this is just a smorgasbord of
from Barstool.
internet people I'm tired of.
And old PFT got booted out of the Super Bowl mix at some point yesterday. Quite entertaining in the sense that at one point they not only did that, but also Sean McVay had appeared on their podcast,
right,
their van podcast or whatever earlier this year, and had promised them sweet tickets if they make it to the Super Bowl. So they hit McVay with, hey, are you going to follow through on your word? And McVay looks a little uncomfortable at first before finally saying, I'm a man of my word. Absolutely. They say, how many do you need? And, of course, the Barstool guys say, well, how many do you got? They end up settling on 2 or 3. At some point, and I don't know why, if you don't know who PFT commenter is,
it's okay.
Don't worry about it. But the Ray-Ban looking glasses, long hair, that's his look. He got booted. Now, I've been to these things before enough to know that you have to be credentialed upon credentialed upon credentialed. You have to approve them with the NFL. They're laminated, your name on it, your photo, like the whole bit. And there's no way.
Same thing at the NHL All-Star game, by the way.
Exactly. I feel like at the NHL All-Star game, you just have to like hand over some. You can bribe somebody with like 10 pounds of moose meat.
I walked in and I was like, I'm here for my credential, and they were like, thank you. Wow.
Right. They'll
have to wake up. They're like, what?
Some old guy named Gary.
They're like, credential, just go in.
Right, credential.
You're wearing a shirt with a collar on it. Just
go.
Tell them that you're working.
Are you the MC? Are you singing the anthem? Somebody hit me with something the other day. Said, I have yet to meet a person below 30 in my entire lifetime named Gary. Are Garys just born at 30? And I thought about it.
Yeah, I went to school with a guy named Gary Pomeroy.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm 28.
I don't think I've ever seen a baby named Gary. I don't know anyone named Gary that isn't older than me. Is Gary still a thing?
Well, Gary Gerald
is older than me.
Is he?
Not for debate. Anyways, they got booted. He got booted, which, by the way, is exactly what they want.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
It's great
That's
publicity.
their goal. Yeah.
I'm just curious how they got in there in the first place. It had to be like a player family passer. They had to know a player.
Barstool is like a thing.
There's no way the NFL's credentialing him. No way. No chance. None. Zero.
Really?
Yep. 100%. Billion%. There is no way. Barstool, because
didn't they? Well, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they get a float in the Patriots parade a couple years ago?
That I don't know.
In the Celtics parade?
Sounds
or not,
right.
Not the Celtics, but the Red Sox parade?
Sounds right. Dave Portnoy, who's the president of Barstool Sports, was also removed, escorted from the premises. Yeah, the NFL is not credentialing them. So it made me think, how do they get in? And again, I think the only way is it's got to be a family pass. They've got to know some player somewhere that got them in.
Rob Gronkowski probably.
Probably did. From the text line. We haven't checked in on the text line yet. 441140 from
Hey, is your computer still not working with this?
No, it's not.
Mine's working fine.
It is. It's some sort of a glitch in my computer. Because I can get
I don't think that's how it works.
I can get the.
Can I come look? Can I come do tech support?
I would love for you to come look.
Okay, we have 1 minute left, and then I'll come.
Would love for you. No, I think you should come look right now.
We have 1 minute. Though.
Okay. My daughter heard you guys singing Baby Shark, and now she's demanding I turn you off and play that on YouTube. Well, apologize and tell your daughter to get out of the car if she doesn't like it. How about that? Hey, guess who owns the car? Mommy or daddy. I don't know who's sending that text in. Ask Siri to beatbox. Is that a thing?
Yes. I did it at the break, and it's super funny.
Hey, Siri. Beatbox.
Here's one I've been practicing. Boots and cats and boots and
Oh,
cats.
I know this. Okay. All right. I know that. I know that one. We'll break. Boots and cats and boots and cats and I got you. The series got Kyle Madsen level jokes. Is that what we're going to break to?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Kings off today. Back in action Wednesday. Are they interested in Mark Gasol? Those are the rumors. We'll have the answer for you when we get back. Are they buying or selling before the deadline? We'll check in on the Kings at the trade deadline in just a couple minutes while Kyle pisses off our entire audience, who will now have this song in their head for the rest of the day. It's The Drive, full of apologies. Sports 1140 KHTK.